All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Lit in English, Season 6. And this is the season titled Understanding Your Inner Self, Lit Up the Path to Happiness as Whole Being. And in this season, we are diving deep in the three reference system, the seven holistic well, and many other great um, teaching that the experts has presented to us. And this week we are continuing on the presentation of the night type of people. And this is a topic that is very dear to my heart. And thank you so much for joining us on this journey. Just a quick recap on what we have presented so far in in our past presentation in last week when we introduced the night type of people and the importance of this presentation is the idea that in this life we have got to be able to recognize these nine type of people in our life because these are the nine types of people that greatly help us in our life, and they can help us stand above any problem that will arise in life. And by starting in this, by understanding this, our life will become a lot richer and a lot more wonderful to live. There's a very famous saying that at some point in your life, when you eat the most delicious food, when after you have traveled to the world, then it does not matter what your experiences are, but who you are with, who you are sharing those experience with. So in that way, it is extremely important to recognize the nine types of people because once you recognizing the nine type of people, you will start to see them all around, and your life will improve greatly. So last week in the nine types of people, we shared the importance of networking, the importance of having good relationship with people, right? And this is also called relational well-being in happiness studies. And if we really think about it, our life is often governed by the people around us. And it is not about what you know, it is all about who you know. And this is absolutely true. And we share an example of a cup of coffee, right? Every morning, if you drink coffee or if you drink tea, you can think about the scenario of having that cup of coffee, that cup of tea delivering to you. Imagine how many people are involved in that journey, right? You have the cashier who greeting you, take your order, and you have the coffee maker make that cup of coffee, bring it to you. And then we have the owner of the shop who put a really nice shop at your convenience. And then we also have the truck driver who drove the products there, and then the farmer who grow the product, and many other people, millions and millions of people involved in delivering that single cup of coffee to you. Even the money that you spend, the job that you got in order to afford that cup of coffee. So everything is indeed interconnected, and understanding the importance of the people in our life, it is very necessary that we have the mindset of appreciating people. And by recognizing these nine type of people, not only we will be able to receive help and support from them, but we also strive to be 9-in-1 tied up people, right? And just a quick recap on what each of these people do. Let's imagine that we are getting help from each of these person. And again, this is the second presentation, the part 2 of the Nine Type of People. Therefore, it is very important that we do a quick overview. So the why person is someone who give us a concept, a lesson, or an understanding from which our perception rise above any arising problem. So a noble person is someone who help us in some aspect or some periods of our life. And the well-connected person is the person who have great relationship with other around them. And by getting to know the well-connected person, it's easy for us to find the help that we need. And for a blessed person is someone who are very blessed. They are governing the energy around them, and they might not appear to do anything at all. However, their presence can help us get the thing that we want in life easily. All right. A talented person would be someone who um, joining our movement, travel alongside with us on our journey, and they are helping us taking care of a part in our life. And a great master is someone who have dreams that uh, that kind of like cover, and their dream is grander than the dream that we have for ourselves. And by supporting them, we simply get the help, get the teaching, and get the support from them to realize both of our dream and their dream. The expert is someone who can help make the complicated problem simple. And by having expert in our life, we can easily overcome any challenge event in our life. Teacher is extremely unique, and in the teaching of the 9 types of people, a teacher is someone who is a lot more than just uh, a teacher in school, right? Because a teacher in school, they are just doing their job, helping people to grow overall. But the teacher in this um, 9 type of people is someone who can uh, do well with all 3 areas, which are production, business, and education. And we can see that uh, Apple is doing very good with this. Um, Tesla is doing very good with this. They not only producing the product, but they also doing very well in their business, and they also educated their customer on how to utilize their product and services. So a true teacher is someone who can do well in all 3 of this area. And last but not least, we have the enlightened teacher. The enlightened teacher is someone who can help you realize a greater understanding of the world around us, so we can have fully understanding of our human view, the world view, and the cosmic view in many levels. So by learning the 9 type of people, we will be in more control of the type of people we are interacting, instead of judging other, or instead of blaming on other people, we can learn from them, right? For example, if someone doing something good for you, someone supporting you in any area of your life, that person would be called a noble person, right? And it's easy to appreciate someone who do a favor for you. But what if someone come to your life and they might cause us some unfavorable outcome to you, right? Most of people would blame them, would started to judging them, but understanding the type of people, we recognize that that is not the case. Maybe it is us who needed that lesson so we can grow to becoming a greater person. Therefore, instead of seeing people as enemy, we can see them as beautiful enemy, as in a teacher who come in our life to teach us a very, very valuable lesson. And that is one of the true power of the ninth type of people. It changed our perspective. It shifted our perspective to a more positive, a more appreciative perspective of life. So today we are going to dive in deeper what it means to be a wise person, a noble person, a well-connected person, a blessed person, talented person, a great master, experts, teachers, and enlightened teacher. For the night, for the presentation of the night title people, we want to be able to recognize who they are. We want to know how to treat them properly. We want to know how to attract them, and we want to know how to becoming them, becoming nine in one. And in this journey, we will do just that. So let's start with a wise person. As usual, let's get a brand new piece of paper and we will write out the word a wise person. First of all, how do we identify a wise person? A wise person is someone who gave a concept, a lesson, or understanding from which our perception rise above any arising problem. That is the definition, and it is rather an important presentation definition. And if you can recall the light, the principle of light, and the seven holistic wealth, right? And then by referring back to the seven holistic wealth, we will recognize that a wise person is someone who will help us rises above any arising problem. And the expert tell us that if we were to simplify all problem in life, there are only four categories: the inner self, health, relationship, and finance. All right. So by connecting everything that we have shared in this journey and understanding that everything is interconnected, a wise person is someone very, very special because they will come into our life and they will give us a concept, a lesson, or an understanding. And by doing that, they will help us rise above any arising problem. extremely important. And understanding that, we will know how to becoming a wise person, right? And anyone should be a wise person for their children, their loved one, and those who are around them, because we love them. We love our family and loved one, and we want to be knowledgeable enough to help them arise, like rise above any arising problem. So we need to do well for ourselves in all four of these category, which are inner self-help, relationship, and finance. And in order to do that, we need to raise awareness. We need to enrich our mindset. We need to aspire to becoming a wise person, right? We have to create an environment where we can become wise, and we have to continuously share valuable knowledge gain, and by doing that we will spread wisdom, because the more we do, it's a clear picture, a clear path to the ability of rises above any arising problem. And that is, even though it might sound like a lot, but it doesn't have to, because the definition of the wise person does not require us to to be a master at all four areas, but we can strive to be. We can go on a journey to fulfill our capability to assist other in all four of this area, right? And this is the reason why in the 9 types of people, we separate it into 4 lessons. The first is recognizing. The second is how to treat. The third is how to attract. And the fourth is how to becoming. And I'm going to jump between these four depending on each type of person that we are going to discuss. All right, so how do we treat a wise person who come into our life? And in order to treat the wise person, we need to appreciate the blessing that we receive from the wise person. We need to cherish, and we need to um, precious these blessing that we are receiving, and then we spreading this blessing to as many people as we can, right? Because the concept, the lesson, or the understanding from which our perception rises above any arising problem is very, very powerful. And in this journey, I uh, I am striving to doing just that, and that is how we treat the wise men in our life. All right. So how can we attract the wise people? We need to show gratitude to the knowledge that we receive, and we want to share valuable lesson and insight gained from the wise people to everyone around us. And when a wise person see that, they tend to attract to us because they want the amazing knowledge to spread out, so everyone can have the opportunity to rise above any arising problem. And that is what the expert have shared with us. So would you, I see Giovanni have joined us as well. Would you like to comment on the wise person, how to recognize, treat, attract, and becoming a wise person before we move on to the next person in our list.
Yeah, sorry about that. I don't know what happened to my can you hear me good?
Yeah, a little bit low, but I can
A
hear
little
you.
bit low. How about now? You hear me a little bit better?
It is still the same.
Okay. Yeah, I'm having some audio issues too, but let me
No worry, take your time. Um, Jasmine said he can hear you just fine. Or maybe it's the volume that I have. Let me turn
is
mine
it
up. Yeah, it's probably mine. Yeah, Jasmine said he can hear you just fine. And I think I can
okay.
hear you better now. Yep.
Yeah, the biggest thing to I would say to become first to recognize a wise person is through their actions. You know, a wise person is very mindful about um how they carry themselves, not only, you know, out in public, but also, you know, when they're at home as well. It's one of the biggest red flags, I would say. You know, we have a saying here: practice what you preach. You know, a lot of times wise people don't really preach anything; they just practice everything. Um, Another thing is, you know, to become a wise person, what you want to do is you want to develop self, like you said, understanding, number one, but also self-awareness, which is based on truth. And it takes a lot of work, because, you know, you have to be reflective in your thoughts. You have to understand how you think. If you want to become a wise person, you have to master your own thoughts first. Um, you know, a wise person is just someone who has a lot of knowledge based on their own life experiences, but they apply the lessons from their experiences into their life. Um, you know, and they're very thoughtful when it comes to their mindset. They're very deliberate in how they talk. They're deliberate on, you know, what they read. You know, their whole being is based on a deliberate action. Um, and yeah, and if you want to, a quick way to become a wise person is, you know, to mimic someone who has the qualities that you would think um, you would be. You know, I would say if the highest goal of any human is to become enlightened, then I invite everybody to just, you know, think of, you know, the highest intellectual person that you could think of, the wisest person you could think of, and just imitate them for a day, or imitate them for a week. You know, read a certain, you know, person. You know, if you like, you know, the Greeks, read Aristotle. You know, you can, um, you know, read Seneca. Seneca is great, easy to read. Um, you know, and once you start reading these people, they start to become a voice in your head, you know, and you can say, well, how would Aristotle, you know, approach this thing that's in front of me? How would Seneca approach this thing in front of me? How would Lao Tzu react to, you know, this situation that I'm in? And what you do is you embody that. So it's kind of like you're acting as if you're them, and by acting as if you're them, you start to, you know, get those qualities or find your own qualities and become your own wise person. You're not really becoming them; you're becoming a better you. So,
Wow. That is awesome. And I'm glad you mentioned the great wise men of the path, and by observing their teaching and applying it, and uh, and being self-aware of the the knowledge, we can embody the teaching, and over time, through practice and through spreading the knowledge, we can become a wise man or woman, just like the great many wise people in the past. Love that. And again, thank you so much for joining me on this journey. And you know, I asked for your thought a lot, but this is pretty much the journey itself. Many of our fellow journeyers come here to to hear your thought on this teaching, and I appreciate you speaking very honest, everything that you have in your mind. And somehow that is very much aligned with what we are learning. So I appreciate that. And you are absolutely right when you dive in much deeper of what it meant to be a wise person, because through the journey of recognizing, treating, attracting, and becoming a wise person, we are actually starting our journey of becoming other type of people. And in life, if you can have these 9 type of people in your life will be absolutely amazing. And you definitely will be able to reach that enlightenment moment, that awakening moment. And your life will be full of joys, right? And imagine if you can have the perspective that can help you rise above any arising problem in life, being proactive about our life, absolutely amazing. So each of the 9 type of people hold a very, very special meaning. And the reason as well as the important lesson of recognizing each of these 9 type of people is that we can have more of them in our life. Just like what Dr. Taban Shah said, when you appreciate the good will appreciate, and better yet, you will become the good. So thank you so much for sharing your thought. And that is the first part that I would like to share about the wise person. And let's move on to the next type of person that we should strive to be. And this is one of my favorite. And the next one would be a noble person. Noble person. Right. So a noble person, how do we identify a noble person? A noble person is someone who will help us in some aspect or a period of our life. And they are grand noble people who help us in all aspect of our life, like our parent, for example. Uh, a medium noble person who help us in one part of our life, and a minor noble person who help us in a small part of our life. So there's 3 level of noble people, and it is extremely important for us to recognize that, because there will be family member in our life that it doesn't matter what we need, they will love us so much that they will support um, us in all aspect of our life. All right. And the difference between the noble person and the wise person, even though they might sound like the same, but the wise person is the type of person that can only help you with your perception, so that you can have that key idea, that principle to, so that you can apply in that principle to stand above any arising problem. A noble person is someone who are actually going on the journey with you, and they they help you in those aspects. And the importance of recognizing a grand noble person compared to the minor noble person is that when a stranger help us, let's say changing a flat tire of your car, uh, when you are on the road, I use this in the past week as well, we tend to be very thankful to them. But when our parent who helped us so much, and for some reason on that one particular day, or yeah, for that particular event, when they for some reason they are unable to do us a favor as we ask them, then people tend to get upset when someone who had helped us so much in our life, but for some reason they just had to say no on that day. We tend to judge them, and we tend to not treat them right, and that is not uh, a good way to treat a noble person, especially a grand noble person, right? And the expert tell us that we often remember minor noble people, but we forget the grand ones, especially forgetting our parents who are grand noble people who raised and nurture us to maturity. And we have to learn this a lesson sometime in our life, and we have to learn how to express our gratitude, our appreciation to our parent. And I do believe that is the most important thing that someone or everyone eventually need to recognize, to value our family member and our loved one in our life who silently supporting us in our life. We know about it, but sometimes we will forget, right? Because if we don't practice the 3 R's of change: reminder, repetition, and ritual, we tend to forget, and we shouldn't. So the be able to recognize noble person or noble people, and the three magnitude of the the noble people, we will learn how to treat them accordingly. And once again, in the night tide of people, it is about recognizing, treating, attracting, and becoming, right? And the way that we need to interact or to treat uh, noble people is we need to have gratitude. We need to appreciate their presence in our life, and even though appreciation sounds very simple, but as many of us might know, when you appreciate the good will appreciate, and you will be able to attract more noble person or more the group of noble people. And trust me, when you appreciate your family and loved one, they will keep you even more, because their love is unconditioned. And the more appreciation that we give, the the more we will be able to attract. So the beautiful thing in this is that both attracting and treating are pretty much the same by showing appreciation. And in appreciation, we have learned this in the presentation about present, and showing appreciation, showing gratitude is the main focus of our emotion, our layer of emotion in the human structure, right? And again, the quote that I believe express the best of gratitude is that when you appreciate the good will appreciate. And according to the human structure, we we choose our parent, right? We choose our parent. We chose to be born into our family, and that is our blessing. So regardless of which type of family we are born into, whether that is a wealthy family or a less wealthy family, those are according to the blessing that we have in our life. and our family, our parent, they will be a part of our journey. And by having appreciation to our parent, the grand noble people, we will be able to accumulate um, value for both ourselves and our parent. And becoming a noble person, we need to understand the importance of moral virtues and blessing, right? Because every noble people come into our life that is according to our blessing. And again, borrowing the teaching that we have learned from the human structure. Just a quick reminder. Um, the good karma and the radiant karma that we accumulate, not only in this lifetime, but many lifetime in the past. Uh, we can work on our appreciation and accumulating our good karma and radiant karma. And doing that, we will attract more noble people coming to our life. And we, again, just like what Giovanni shared earlier, by becoming self-aware and take action, we will simply have opened up a path to becoming a noble person. And we will nurture those character, and that will open up a very important path in the journey of assisting and helping our fellow journeyer. And that is the fourth part of recognizing, treating, attracting, and becoming a noble person. It has a lot to do with appreciation. And you will see this theme over and over again because we are applying and practicing the three most important energy in each of the layer of our inner self. We're going to practice gratitude, compassion, and inner peace. And we have learned this through being rich in our present. So with that, I would like to see if Giovanni had anything to add in here before we move on.
Put me on the spot, man. All right. So I just wrote down a couple of notes here. I just put down that that the noble person's basically all about honor. They're all about integrity. And there's something that we call moral excellence, which is being the best you that you can live with, basically. So how to recognize a noble person? I wrote here that you want to look for people who act with honor and who attribute, moral excellence. How do you attract a noble person? Is noble person, number one is, if you want to attract a noble person, you have to become honest yourself, and you have to show respect in all of your interactions with everyone. And then lastly here, to become noble, what you want to do is build a strong moral code for yourself. If you had to, a lot of people can't follow the laws. A lot of people can't follow, what's written in the Bible. A lot of people can't even follow, what they said during, when they got married and their vows and stuff like that. But it's like, if you write down for yourself something that you can live with, okay, a strong ethical code, it's going to help you engage in your relationships and in your communities. And a noble person starts to become a well-connected person. So it's building. So a wise person becomes noble, and it's kind of like stairs, right? So it's kind of like steps. to go
Mhm.
inside that house, right? So you had the house there. And then if you go to the house, you have, let's see, there it is. So if we were to go inside of that house, right? And the goal of being inside the house is to turn on the lights to become enlightened, then each one is a step. So the wise person becomes noble, noble person becomes well connected, and vice versa. So if I had to put these people underneath a topic, then I would put the wise person with inner self. So I would put the wise person will belong to the inner self group, and then a noble person will belong to the relationship group.
Mm.
And then as you go on, I'll start stacking up the people. So
Okay.
you could even go to the house and just write wise under inner self. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I'll put inner wise right there. And then under relation, I will put noble. So what this is going to do, it's going to help people pinpoint, if your relationships need to be built more, then you can harvest more nobility in your life. If you want to become more, knowing of your inner self, then strive to be wise, and then just for now, I know you're going to move to well connected, but I'm going to we'll put well connected under obviously relationships because it's a connection, so we can go ahead and put well connected there. Yep. And then yeah, so and then if you wanted to like think of a person who was noble, the one person that I can think of is like Gandhi, right? We learned about Gandhi in the master's degree program, and he had principles of like nonviolence, number one, and he was always wanted to speak the truth, which says a lot about his inner moral integrity. So that shows that he did build on his inner self through nobility. Mahatma Gandhi also was all about being simple in life and being physically fit, having your physical well-being. So that's the health portion of the house. So just because I put noble under relation doesn't mean that it can't go in other places in the house, because it absolutely can. You appreciate the good, the good appreciates, and right here all this stuff is good, and what it's appreciating is your house, your ability to enter your house and to turn your light on and to become enlightened. And another thing is Gandhi built strong relationships, meaningful relationships through his principle that he himself exude. I mean, he acted upon his own principle. He didn't just tell people things, he did it himself. And then because of all this, he was a well-known guy, very well connected. And also he thought that people should also have autonomy when it comes to like their like being self-reliant on your own finances, by being simple, not having too much, not having not enough, but just having enough, and just always striving to just have enough. So.
Wow, that is amazing, and I love how you connect all of the point as well as the night-tired people to the house of the seven holistic wealth. And as you speak, I can make that connection too. And this is why I love it so much when I bring someone in like you who are very well informed. At the same time, you are not familiar with this presentation, with this teaching yet, and you are able to connect to this. And to be very honest, I translating these teaching from Vietnamese to English. So prior to knowing if these word is the equivalent of the Vietnamese language or not, I wasn't sure. But when you pointed it out, it makes perfect sense, right? Because when you put the wise person under inner self, it make a lot of sense to me. And then when you put the noble person into relationship, obviously that make a lot of sense too. And it seemed like the noble person is more involved in helping you in your relationship than the wise person, because the wise person will only give you like an advice. A noble person actually be in a part of your journey, and that is so beautiful. And then as you are saying that, i I can see that a wise person have a lot to do with wisdom, which is the foundation of the inner self. So wise, wisdom, it's kind of go hands in hand. And then I just realized that a noble person has a lot of character of nobility. So in that way, nobility is lean more toward relationship, and as you can see, it's in the bottom right corner of inner self and relationship. So it makes perfect sense that a noble person should lean more toward relationship rather than inner self, and it's go hands in hand with nobility. A well-connected person, when you tell her like it has something to do with a relationship, obviously it does, because they a well-connected person, which we are going to next, uh, is someone who have a great network of well-connected people as well. And I just realized that, you know what, if wise person is under wisdom, nobility, a noble person is under nobility, then maybe well-connected person is someone who is very rich in present, and because of that, they are able to connect with other people. What do you
Yeah.
think? What do you think
Yeah,
about that?
I just want to say that, yeah, you're absolutely right. Well, a well-connected person is going to have nobility, and they're going to have wisdom, which allows them to have presence now.
Mhm.
Because if you're not wise and you're not noble, you're not truthful, you have no integrity, your presence, no one's going to like your presence, you know?
Right.
So I would say first seek inner self, and then inner self, like being the foundation of everything, builds upon everything else. So yeah, and you're absolutely right. A well-connected person will have presence once they obtain wisdom and they exude nobility.
Amazing. Yeah, I'm glad that we started the discussion of the 9 types of people, instead of going into what nobility is, what virtue is, what capability is, because through the 9 types of people, we kind of have a sense, a glance into what these 7 uh, holistic wells are. So great point. And I see Jasmine has been raising her hand for a while, so feel free to unmute yourself whenever it's
Yes.
convenience.
Hi Ben, hi Giovanni and everyone. Um, I really love how Giovanni can come up with uh the position, like playing each each person into each room, and that helped me understand a lot. Especially yeah, I just love the fact it's similar like Ben. I just love the fact that a wise person is in a wisdom room, or like close to in the inner room, and then the noble person stay in the nobility room. That makes totally sense to me. And uh, so usually, in my understanding, the wise person is the one who normally they could be a random person that we met. They could be our house. They could be our kid. You know, and in um kind of like in the like Disney movie or like Hollywood movie, we will see a random person come and they say something that enlighten us at that moment. So usually that's how I look at the wise person in my life. They just like randomly appear and say something that open up so many things. But like for the noble person, it could be a person who I mean Ben earlier mentioned about the 3 magnitude of noble person, and he also remind me something about we have to appreciate our loved one, because to us they are the most noble person, that they take care of us and they help us with like whole heart unconditional love that given to us. but sometimes we are too calculated when it comes to thinking of them or like having them. That can remind me again. So this is the reason why I love to hear from Ben, from Giovanni, and then from other friends who share this knowledge again. Just because sometimes I feel like just today, I feel like I have an old belief that that occurred with me, and the way I look at the situation was narrow. Um, and then by learning about this night type person again, it's kind of reminding me that I have to not giving them like not treating the situation with my own perspective. Instead, I have to view that person as one of this night type person or night type people, and then I can be able to see the light, like how to overcome the situation or how to have the solution to resolve this problem um, in a more manner and gratitude and appreciation way. Yeah, that is my realization. Thank you.
Beautiful.
Thank you, Jasmine. Thank you.
Thank you, Jasmine. And I love having this discussion. You guys, somehow we connected to this knowledge in a very, very special way. And I can't wait to share with you my realization. But let's get back on track because everything is interconnected. But I just want to say that I am super excited to discuss what is coming up next. And thank you for your contribution. All right, let's go back to the well-connected person very quickly. The way that we identify the well-connected person is that a well-connected person is a focal point in their social relationship. A well-connected person is the owner of a network of credible and quality relationship. That is the one with the influential voice. And connect that to what Giovanni said earlier. A well-connected person is a person who have all three: wisdom, nobility, and presence. Extremely, extremely important. And the experts say that, well-connected people are the people who literally run the world, right? And there's a famous saying in Amazon, the company. The quote says that if you can control the distribution network, then you literally control the entire uh, product and services industry. And all of that through a well-connected person or well-connected people, the network that they build. So a well-connected person is extremely, extremely important, and they are extremely valuable to have because when you have the right connection, you can do many, many other things. And I have I have read countless of successful story of very, very successful people. They are just an average Joe, right? But they happen to meet the right person, and that person is so well connected that well connected person introduce them to an entire new field of business, of investing, and they can do so well financially thanks to that one well connected person, right? And understanding the importance of a well connected person, we what do we do in order to um, attract them, right? We have to, in order to attract the well connected person. I'm saying connect attract first in order to treat the well-connected person is because we have to work on ourselves. We have to ensure that we can satisfy the four survival motivation, or also called the four gratitude. And those are the appreciation of ourselves in an individual level, the appreciation for our family, the appreciation for our organization, and the appreciation for society. So when someone who have so much love, so much appreciation for the entire world itself, that they constantly work on better themselves, better their family, better their organization, and better society, those people will attract a lot of well-connected people. And I'm so excited to talk about this because we are so lucky to be on that journey, the happiness journey, right? And in season 6, it is named Understanding Your Inner Self, lead up a path to happiness as whole being. So we are striving to do not only doing good, but doing well in an individual level, doing well for our family, doing well for our organization and for society, because we are exercising happiness, exercising well-being, and we are working to spread happiness all over the world. Extremely, extremely important. And you know what? By doing just that, we will attract so many well-connected people. And I'm saying this with confidence because the journey barely started, but you will notice a lot of well-connected people will start to show up in your life, Giovanni, and in our life. So I'm so thankful that I get to learn about this journey. And personally, I have met so many well-connected people that I am so surprised that I even have the privilege to meet and to work with. So if you want to attract well-connected people, you have to have the mindset of better yourself, better your family, better your organization, and better society. And later on in this journey, we will learn why we need to do that. Right now, how do we treat a well-connected person or people? A well-connected person or people, they value their network, right? So the way to treat them is to, first of all, we have to respect their network, their social relationship, because without the well-connected person, we wouldn't be able to access their networks of credible and quality relationship. Okay. And so, for example, you get like a really great business deal through a good friend of yours, and the way to treat them correctly is that instead of going directly to the person who provided those quality product and services, you have got to let the friend that connected you to that person before you work directly with that person. You have to let them know first. You have to show appreciation. And this is extremely, extremely important because many people don't know how to do this right. So they make a misstep. They might not think too much about this just because they don't know. But now that we know, let's say without the right connection, and let me give you an example so that it's easier to understand. So my uncle in Australia, he is in the phone business, right? And his retail store is doing very well, even though he's only selling let's say phone cover and accessory. And in order to get good product, he has to go through wholesaler And one day he was able to move so much product that he need a bigger distributor, he need a bigger wholesaler. And the wholesaler guy that he used to go to like him, like how respectful he is to the business. So the wholesaler introduced him to the manufacturer. And my uncle is well informed enough to show a lot of respect to the wholesaler. So even though he can contact the factory directly, he's still in communication with that wholesaler, and he still doing business with that wholesaler and make sure that everyone is growing. So that is how you treat and maintaining relationship in business. Many people, when they realize that they can get a better deal with the manufacturer, they cut out the middleman, right? But they don't realize that the only reason they attaining that relationship is through that middle person. And because my uncle is respectful enough, he opened up many other opportunity, right? Let's say if he was to just take that opportunity and work with the manufacturer, he missed out so many other important people behind that entire network of that wholesaler. But because he respectful enough, he continued to have many other opportunity to work on even better deal. So being striving to be a person who know how to treat a well-connected person properly, you open yourself up to so many opportunity. You will connect to so many network of credible and quality relationship, right? Extremely important. And of course, we will dive into the detail of all of that goodness later on in this journey. Another important way of interacting or treating a well-connected person is that you have to learn how to promote the image of the well-connected person, say good thing about them. And that's what my uncle did well too. When he get in connection with the manufacturer, he always say good thing about the wholesaler. And it is extremely important. And this is something that experienced people will tell you, because the second that they are saying any bad thing about the person who connected them, the one who get connected will question the integrity of you right away, right? But by saying good thing about other people, whoever interact with you will know that when they help you, you will have so much respect, so much appreciation to them. And pretty much we are circle back to the saying that when you appreciate the good will appreciate. Extremely important. Now, last but not least, the third point, extremely important, and I am so appreciative of these teaching of this advice from my mentor. He shared with me that the importance of treating a well-connected person is that we have to learn how to connect relationship, as in we have our own network of credible and quality relationship. We want to be able to introduce our network of credible and quality relationship to the well-connected person or the well-connected people. And by doing that, we expand our networks together. Extremely powerful. And the world is all about interconnectedness. And imagine what will happen if you can connect many great people together. Powerful beyond imagination. And similar to the first two type of people, becoming a well-connected person, just like what Giovanni said earlier about self-awareness. action and gratitude. We understand the concept that people are capital, right? People are resources. And we know the importance of people. We understand the importance of the network of people. So understanding that, we appreciate, we have gratitude, we have to be very self-aware, and we take action in promoting the image of a well-connected person, connect more quality relationship to a well-connected person. So well-connected person, a lot of wisdom, a lot of nobility, and definitely have a very powerful presence. So I do want to cover another person. So just quickly, if you would like to share anything on a well-connected person before we move on, feel free to unmute yourself.
Yeah, real quick, to piggyback on Tal, you know how Tal says, appreciate the good appreciates. A well-connected person knows how to leverage their relationships. These people don't see other people just as other people. They see everyone else as if they were themselves, and they treat themselves better. And what you have to realize is that a well-connected person knows. I have a lot of notes already, but a well-connected person has one law that they go by, and you can see this, through like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, even Steve Jobs when he was around, is realize that one person can't do everything, but everyone could do something. Okay, so there's always a reason why people come into your life. It is never to harm you. That's always in your mind. People come into your lives to enhance your lives. You just have to know how to pull that out of them. So that's what I mean by leverage to relationships, is they know how to use people without using people. So it's a very fine art, and you're absolutely right that a well-connected person does have a presence about them, and the presence about them is not selfish in nature. They want to help other people, and in turn they know that the universe is going to take care of them. So they're very selfless people when it comes to relationships.
Beautiful. Selfless. And of course, instead of selfless, in the happiness study, we learned about one beautiful word called selfful. I'm just gonna go ahead and write that up here as well. Being selfful. Okay. Right. Beautiful. And just to connect the well-connected person to our discussion, a well-connected person move on to a step further, that is having a big presence, right? And as you can see, there is a ladder, like Giovanni mentioned in the beginning. A wise person will have the foundation of wisdom. A noble person will have the foundation of nobility and wisdom as well. And then, as you can see, a well-connected person, even though they look very simple, they also have the character of wisdom, nobility, and presence. All right, so the next person, the next type of person, very, very special. And hold on. And that is let me see my paper right here. That is a blessed person. Okay. The fourth one. So can you guess what does
Me?
it need to yeah, can you guess like what is a blessed person need to have according to the seven holistic wealth?
You
Yes.
saying inside of the house or on the outside of the house?
Inside of the house.
I would say a blessed person, it's all about See, I want to put them in finance because
Mhm.
a blessed person knows how to manifest the material. Um,
Mhm.
but a blessed person, I want you to tell me which one inside the house.
Well, let me write this very, very quickly. And I had this realization
Hmm.
today, thanks to all the point that you are making. I have never seen it this way in the past, but there is a progress
Hmm.
in these four, and it is so powerful how all
Would
of
you
this
put them in
connected.
virtue?
That will be the next step, and I realized that just now. And just quickly, the definition of a blessed person, right? As we have presented uh last week. So the blessed person, there's two part about them. Their present tend to help people around them exponentially increase in some area of their life, right? They might not appear like they doing anything at all, but when they are around, they seem like they can help you increase your finance, they can help you increase their health, they can help you understand your inner self better, they can help you increase your relationship better. So a blessed person is very, very unique in these nine type of people, and it is very mysterious. You know, in Vietnamese, a blessed person is called um actually I'm speaking English, so I forgot, but it's leaning more toward a very godlike person because just by appearing, everything is going so well. And to be very honest, I didn't really understand why that is in the past, but by moving through the seven holistic well, as we discussed, of how a wise person focus on wisdom, a noble person focusing on nobility, a well-connected person focused on their present. But in fact, there is a step in one, two, three, and four. And in the night tide of people, if we were to put a number
Mhm.
here, then we will have a wise person as number one, a noble person at number two, a well-connected person as number three, a blessed person at number four. Then we will see that a blessed person is a person who fulfill all four elements of wisdom, nobility, present, and virtue. And this helped me understand the importance of a blessed person so much. So important.
Do you see how much light a blessed person is turning on inside of that house
Yep.
with the candles,
Mhm.
right?
It is the center.
And the other thing is that a blessed person now opens up for everything else that's on top of the house, the capability, the material,
Exactly.
and the
Mhm.
physique. So it's
Mhm.
like once you become a blessed person, you unlock that door.
Mhm.
But I would say on the outside of the house, a blessed person would fall under actually finance,
Mhm.
because we see finance as having material things, but it's
Mhm.
also, has to do with a lot of self energy too. The finance. So that's
Mhm.
where I would put a blessed person.
Okay. And you are right, because when we speaking of a blessed person, we often think of a person who fulfill their life with many material things. They might be very wealthy, and a blessed person is a very mysterious person until you realize why they has becoming a blessed person, right? And the key is to virtue, and you are absolutely right about their ability to light up the entire house and how they connect different part of the 7 holistic well together. So in the 7 holistic well, we have not touched virtue, we have not touched nobility. But I'm gonna use this opportunity to introduce virtue a little bit more. Well, remember how in the 7 holistic well, I introduced the material and the immaterial. Let me see if I can find that piece of paper. Oh, it's right here. All right. So the expert tell us that in this life, we have to immaterialize material and materialize the immaterial. A blessed person can do that through virtue. Virtue is very, very special because it can materialize the immaterial. All right. This can let me highlight virtue because this is very, very special. It can turn, for example, it can turn wisdom into material wealth, right? With wisdom, you would know how to make the right investment. You can increase your wealth exponentially. So that's what you meant by having your financial increase. A blessed person can help you do that. A help person can also help you increase your capability, right? For example, you are a blessed person to me because when you appear in my life, right, I gain more wisdom, I gain more capability. You even try to help me with my physique. And as we walking on this journey, I have no doubt in my mind that we will do well financially together. We will enrich our material wealth. And it is happening, right? It's not new. It's been happening for over a year. I don't talk much about it, but it is happening. So the beautiful thing about a blessed person is that they can seamlessly immaterialize the material and materialize the immaterial. So when they come into your life, you gain more wisdom, you gain more nobility, you gain more presence, you gain more physique, you gain more material, you gain more capability. The truth is they enrich your entire life in all aspects of life. And they are called a blessed person because you don't recognize such an amazing a person they are, because we don't have all of the information of how to enrich our wisdom, nobility, present, virtue, capability, physique, and material. It has been a mystery to us until we realize, until we have the definition of what it is. So striving to becoming a blessed person is the key to becoming, to get into all the magnitude of life. Yes, go ahead, Giovanni.
I just wanted to say that when you brought up the material and immaterial, if you can go back to that, it just something struck me just now, that the material stuff could be taken away. Okay. The immaterial stuff, once you build on the immaterial, that cannot be taken away from you. And that's what a blessed person knows, that if you go back to the immaterial, right? If you build the immaterial stuff first, then you don't have to worry about the material stuff. That automatically comes. But first, we have to do the work. So first, understand that the work begins with the self. And I could split up immaterial and put I'm material. And if you work on the I'm material or I am material, these are things that you should work on first. So don't worry about working on capability. Don't worry about your physique. Don't worry about your material. Worry about the I'm material first. And that's what you can focus on right now.
Beautiful. And that is the research, right? This is the research that we learn in happiness study. And this is research. Research. Science is doing so much to do a lot of research of how to increase capability, material, and physics.
I would even say that the immaterial is in source and the material is the outsource.
Beautiful. In source. Right. And out. I don't know if my spelling is correct. Outsource. Right. Well, you just said something very, very important, extremely, extremely important in understanding your inner self, master life, or cultivate happiness, master life, is that we need to focus on the immaterial because that cannot be taken away. But if you have the immaterial value, you can easily build the material. And this is something that us Vietnamese have a lot of respect to the Chinese people, especially the refugee where they have to escape and run away from their country during the many war that they have in thousands and thousands of years. So I don't know if you know this, but there is a Chinatown everywhere around the world, and we are having that because of different wars that went on in the past. And each time that an empire lost a war, they have to run away from their kingdom, their empire. So you can even find Chinatown in Africa. And it's so powerful that they uh, they ran away with nothing. They gave up the material wealth, but they can always rebuild it. And they are so successful, right? Just look at the US, look at big city like Seattle, San Francisco, New York City, every single big country that you can think of, there is a Chinatown, and they are doing so well for themselves because they may come here with nothing, but they have immaterial value. They are king, they are captain, they are great leaders of their lost country, of their lost empire. And I don't know if people are realizing that, but that is the true reason why they can be so successful, starting out with absolutely nothing. And in a way, us Vietnamese is similar in that way, right? We come here with nothing, but we was able to build wealth for ourselves. So the realization of having, maintaining, and increasing the immaterial wealth is so, so important. And you are so on point with that. So even though it might not look like we are doing much in this journey, in this lit in English season 6, in understanding your inner self or in our happiness study journey, but we are actually enriching our immaterial wealth in wisdom, presence, virtue, and nobility, and we can be anything we want it to be. Powerful.
I love it. I just want to say that, immaterial, you have in source and then outsource, and you have within and without, right? So
Mhm.
happiness is all about, tell me who you are within when you are without anything.
Mhm.
And that's true happiness. So if you want to find inner peace, inner happiness, focus on the immaterial stuff. If you just want, happiness that's fleeting, that's temporary, which is fine, there's no bad or good here. Then focus on the stuff outside of you, focus on the material stuff. But ultimately it's our decision. So I think that most people, once they know that the true power is in building the self first, because true abundance, see, people want to be wealthy, right? But wealth could be taken away. Wealth has a number to it, but true abundance can never be taken away. So all the material stuff or the immaterial stuff, when you build that, then you finally have true abundance, and that's what a blessed person is. They know that their true abundance comes from within and not from without.
Right. Powerful. Well, I've never seen a blessed person in this way, to be very honest, but in today, I have so much respect for a true blessed person, especially a fully aware blessed person. And my mentor often said that he he strives to be a blessed person in present, as in when he wants to be a person who everyone around them can seamlessly enrich in present. And that is so powerful because a person who have wealth in present, that is the person with wisdom who own the five uh, level, the five magnitude of wisdom, and through wisdom, through from within, from that research, you can actually become in anything, anyone that you want it to be. Very, very, very powerful.
I just want to add one more thing, Ben, because we're talking about blessed person and it's very spiritual.
Mhm.
And just understand that the body is part of the material, just like, you know, with the physique, it's up there, it's temporary. And when you build the stuff on the bottom, when you build the inner self through your, you know, relationships with other people, you're building on your soul. So you're doing something for your soul that's going to stick around a long time. And that what you're doing is you're working out karmas, you know, when you're doing this. And you know, it's something that's going to last. It's eternal, you
Mhm.
know, but the work has to be done. But it's up to us on whenever we want to do it. So
You know, I have been listening to the Night Type of People presentation in Vietnam for the longest time. This has never been done when a presenter or a participant connect the Night Type of People to the seven holistic wealth. It has never been done before. This is the first time ever, and it makes so much sense. It makes perfect sense when it comes to the Night Type of People, because we are striving to be 9 in 1. In this way, we are fulfilling the seven holistic wealth in action, right? We are working on our wisdom, we are working on our nobility, we are working on our president, we are working on our virtue. And by doing that, we are enriching our immaterial wealth. And as you said it, when she enriching our immaterial wealth, nobody can take that away from us. And we can do well for ourselves anywhere in the world, right? In our physical world right now, but in a grander scale of less person, it is the spiritual world as well. So you can work hard all your life to build $1 million, even $1 billion, but when you die, you cannot bring any of them with you. But in the spiritual sense, when we borrow the teaching from the human structure, by building our immaterial wealth, we are not this not the one that I'm looking for. By building our immaterial wealth, we are accumulating our good karma and radiant karma. Everything is interconnected. All of it, every single knowledge that we have learned in this journey, they are all interconnected. And I love it. I love how we are able to connect the
another
first four
another
to
thing, Ben, real
this.
quick,
Mhm.
is that sorry, is that it's not an easy road, because if it was easy, everyone would be doing it. But if you want to turn on these lights, you have to realize that you're going into a dark building first. So it's going to be scary,
Mhm.
right? But once you turn on the light and you keep turning on the lights, it starts to get easier, 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 to the point where you don't even have to think about anything. The world just gives you everything because you've already done the work. And that's
Mhm.
something I can tell you that it goes on forever. And then hopefully in the next life, you'll remember quicker and you'll start building more upon it, you know, because this work never ends. Once it starts, you cannot stop it. Once that inner search starts, you cannot stop it. So, yeah, it's very, I feel blessed to even talk like this because I was never like this, you know, but I meditate every time before I get on these calls because I don't know what's going to happen. But I tell myself affirmations. I know that we all have this mind that can think, and we all have the same, our source comes from the same mind. Okay. But we are only separate in our thoughts. So once you get rid of your thoughts, you can see the truth in everything, and it just comes a little bit quicker. You know, I'm not a special person. You know, it's just I've done a lot of work to get here, and I'm still doing a lot of work, and it's still dark, and I have a little bit of light, and I'm just trying to shine the next room so that maybe someone else that comes along can help me shine that room a little bit more. And now the house is filled with everyone, and that's how we become whole. That's how we become oneness with universality.
Well, beautiful. And usually I would like to keep it in at 90 minutes, but I'm sure Jasmine has something to say. So feel free to share, and then we'll open the song and we will say goodbye for now.
Yeah, thank you, Ben. Thank you, Giovanni. I love the fact that you mentioned about before we turn on the lights, we have to, go into this building, dark building, and it is so powerful. It is so simple to connect, and yet it's so powerful because nobody thought about it, right? We always talk about going to the house, turn on the light. Nobody thought about, there's a darkness. And it's just a simple fact that nobody even thought of that. And by you mentioned about it, it is so powerful. That explains a lot about, our life. And that's why we have to give ourselves permission to be human. Um, that is so true. That is, uh, yeah, I loved it a lot. And personally, um, when I had the test, but we all have to, have the test before we get a certification. And so my test is about a plus person. Uh, being a plus person. Um, so for me, when I connect a plus person, it is kind of like people who cultivate their whole life, and they seem like they don't have any material stuff, but when they want to have something, the material comes to them immediately. It's not there, it's from someone else, but material doesn't mean that it's their money or their wealth. It can be other money and other people wealth, but when that plus person need it, people will appear and support that the the vision, and make the vision become alive. But personally, I feel like when I'm pregnant, my child came to me as a black person, and she blessed me in so many angles in life, like a relationship with my family, my parents, myself, um, and more. And so I feel like the blessed person could be everyone too. It's not hard to find that person in our life. It's just that we need to be more present, like we have been talking about. Um, in order for us to recognize a plus person, we have to be present, or we have to, like be able to recognize that person, and we can become a plus person as well. Not just like it's impossible to become a plus person or any like type of person that we are learning right now. So yes, I feel like the fact that you meditate before this room can tell a lot that you really appreciate this time, and then you appreciate yourself too. That's why you meditate and try to understand, the idea behind this. Um, I don't meditate, but sometimes when I listen to a person and I don't understand, then I would question myself, what can I say, or like what should I focus to make the best out of this. And so I feel like if I use this meditation before this Zoom, it can tell a lot about you. And thank you so much. I learned so much
Mhm.
from you, just like Ben said.
No,
Thank you.
thank you for that comment. I just want to tell everybody that, I meditate a lot. Before I get in the car, I meditate. I know there's going to be traffic, but there's a higher self that knows everything, right? There's a higher us, and it's the same us, right? But it knows everything, and it wants to give you things, but you're not inviting it, right? So what I do is I meditate and I say, look, like Socrates, I know that I don't know, you know. So the only one that knows, I just come and help me in my life, because I really want to learn this material. I want to help other people, see this material in a different, way. Maybe even just a simpler way for me, because this is material that's like out of my league. Like, growing up the way I grew up, no one's talking about this stuff, right? So I have to learn this a whole different way. And I have to understand it from a place that comes from my heart and instead of my mind. So that's the only switch that I made, is I said, well, I've been doing everything with my mind, but I'm leaving my heart out of it, right? So by putting everything in my heart, filtering everything like we talked about before through the heart first, the mind automatically knows what to say, and the mind automatically knows, how to make patterns, right? But we have to get ourselves out of our mind, and the only way to do that is to step out of the mind and to go into the heart all the time.
Absolutely beautiful. And well, we will continue in this conversation next week at around the same time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will discuss a little bit more on the topic of a plastic person before we go through the rest of the night tied up people. And I feel so pumped, because we only got to the fourth tied up people, and is powerful beyond my imagination. And I love how we are able to connect to the knowledge. And thank you so much for making this happen, because obviously without the scenario, without the opportunity to get together and deep learning this, I wouldn't be able to make this connection. And this is very, very exciting. And with that,
Thank you guys for inviting
thank
me. I
you.
mean,
Yep.
really.
Yep. Thank you so much. And before we go, I would like to play a song, and I will see you next time. Thank you so
Love you
much.
guys.
Love you too.
Thank you.